to make this business reflect your kingdom. Breathe life into our ideas and decisions and help us to build a team that has love and respect at its heart. Lord, give us the inspiration to be the best we can be. May we be the shining example of your goodness and truth within the workplace. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic one nation under God, and justice for all.
Next, I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Madam
Madam Secretary.
Washington, second by Mr.
Yeah, Madam Secretary, we need to, I would like to motion that we receive the discipline report from Mr. Buggage.
Okay, and that'll be item under policy and procedure 5B. We have a motion by Mr. Marr. Second by Ms. Orso to add it to the agenda, because we first have to add it. All in favor? Any opposed?
Madam President, at this point, I would ask that you offer up a public comment section since this item was added to the agenda and wasn't originally part of the agenda as of this past Friday.
Yes, sir. Does anyone have public, anyone from the audience need to speak on that? Okay, with there being none, I need a, all in favor? I'm sorry. Any opposed?
Thank you. Motion.
All right, motion carries. Next. The consent agenda, approved minutes of December 2nd, 2020 school board meeting.
Everything is in order, so moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Dugas, second by Mr. Robertson. All in favor? Any opposed? Next, receive administrative personnel report that should be in the packets for your viewing pleasure. Followed by the introduction of Ms. Brittany Allen as the new Director of Curriculum and Instruction.
Thank you, Madam President. We advertised several weeks ago for Curriculum and Instruction Director. We had 7 candidates, and I would like to first thank our committee for doing an outstanding job. Committee representative of the core group of administrators at the district level. We had 2 rounds of interviews, the first round, and then we also had a second round for the top 3. And it's very exciting to announce that we hired Mrs. Brittany Allen. She is a phenomenal educator. Her expertise is in the creation of systems to support teaching and learning, as well as bringing new learning into the district in support of coaching teachers and developing leaders. At this time, let's give our, let's say this. She started her career in Assumption Parish, and now she's coming back home. So I want to say a warm welcome to Ms. Brittany Allen, our new director.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's warm on this cold December night. I would first like to start off by personally thanking Mr. Bartholomew, Mr. Buggage, Ms. Blanchard, Ms. Randall, Mr. Preston, Mr. Klingel, and the school board members for having the confidence in me and entrusting me with this tremendous and exciting opportunity and responsibility. Who knew 16 years later, like Mr. Bartholomew said, that I would be back here in Assumption Parish, where it all started. I'm so excited. I accept this responsibility with the utmost respect and dedication to the success of our students. I'm fully committed to achieve the instructional vision and mission of Assumption Parish, which is growing instructional leaders, teachers, and students to their highest level. It is an honor to be given this opportunity. And again, I thank everyone tonight for allowing me to serve Assumption Parish again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also, she's accompanied with our family, so family, thank you for your support as well, and we look forward to working with Mrs. Allen. Thank you.
Ms. Allen, as Mr. B just alluded, you told us about an exhaustive process that you went through, and we thank you for your perseverance and your resilience. And as you know, coming from a larger system where you came from a Sanctum, right?
Yes.
And I know you're glad to get from under Dr. Johnson. Yes, I know she is, yes. So here's the thing, in this light of this COVID-19 virus, you know, I'm so pretty much everything y'all did over there in the Sanctum Parish, you know, you could bring your extra knowledge over here to Assumption Parish and stuff like, because at the end of the day, you know, where we got to keep everybody safe and secured in the school systems and all that, but we still got to educate, right? Because that's why we all here. And I thank Mr. B for this hire. I also thank the committee who went through this long process of, you know, vetting all the candidates for this position. I think you're going to do well. Welcome home. Thank you much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, next on the agenda, recognize and honor Dr. Johnny Lawrence, teacher at Assumption High School, for graduating with his doctoral degree.
Yes, at this time, we would like to acknowledge and recognize Dr. Johnny Lawrence, a teacher in our school district, for obtaining his doctorate degree. And with all due respect, sir, I strive to be that. So I want to say thank you for the hard work and the dedication you have, and also applying yourself to the highest level of education that you could receive. So thank you for that, and Assumption Parish also salutes you.
That might look better.
Congratulations, Dr.
So Dr. Lawrence this week and Dr. Crochet last time we reconvened here, right? We looking good. Thank y'all very much.
Yeah, we're moving up.
We're growing educators.
Yes,
That's right.
that's great. That's great.
It's, like I said with Dr. Crochet last time, it's no small accomplishment to do such a thing. Having earned my master's, that was enough for me. But congratulations that we know you'll do well. Okay, next on the agenda, recognize and honor school nurses for providing contact tracing and care to students and employees to help reduce the spread of COVID-19.
This recognition obviously goes beyond what we see on a daily basis, and oftentimes you don't see the work that goes on behind the scenes. And I know our principals really appreciate the nurses and school administrators, because a lot of contact tracing, phone calls and emails and messages, and also treating of patients that we have in our schools is often done behind the scenes. So, and then at this unprecedented time that we're in right now, it's extremely important to recognize the people that's in the field. And at this time, I would like to recognize our school nurses, Mr. Buggins, if you don't mind coming up. For doing an outstanding job, not only contact tracing, but also the numbers that we receive every board meeting comes from the nurses. They are contact tracing, they're providing us with the numbers. So the update that you're gonna receive tonight is coming from the field, from the nurses. So I wanna say thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and we're glad to have you in Assumption Parish. Thank you.
I'd just like to share that, you know, on top of what our nurses do on an everyday basis, from screening our kids, vision and hearing, assessing our kids on a daily basis, contacting physicians and health plans and making sure all that's updated, communication with teachers and principals, it goes on and on and on. And sometimes training parents that take care of their kids, depending on what a certain situation is, a certain health concern is. So it's nonstop. So on top of their daily duties, you know, everybody has had to step things up with so much going on. So on top of their daily duties, our principals, our teachers, everyone has stepped up to the plate. But my mom used to say, give me my flowers when I'm about.
Oh, we can smell it.
We know
must have
there's a
known
National
like
Nurses
mom.
Day where we recognize our nurses, but sometimes we need to just stop in the midst of and say we appreciate you. So we appreciate all of our staff, but this is just one time we want to stop and let our nurses know how much we appreciate what they do. So I want to thank Mr. B for seeing, what they do on a daily basis and taking this time to recognize them in particular. So at this time, we would like to recognize the following ladies, Paige Burns and Paige Services. Paige Services, Boyville Middle and the Boyville Primary.
Yes, we are.
One big picture.
Okay.
Also, we'd like to recognize at this time, Ms. Danielle Mastretta. And Ms. Danielle services Ivy Middle School and also Coyville Middle School. Ms. Sarah Ball, would like to congratulate you. Recognize you for a job well done. She is at our largest school. She's at Assumption High School. So of course, it's nonstop with the number of kids on campus. I would also at this time like to recognize Ellen Rivera. Ellen is currently servicing Lavendale Primary School, and Ellen is, I don't know if you've been with us the longest, 20+ years, I think. So that's my go-to person when I have a question. I can go to any one of these ladies, but I think on Ellen a lot because she's gonna have an answer for me, or correct me when I'm wrong. I also would like to recognize at this time Leo Pipser, who's a Pierpont.
God
One
bless
of our newer nurses, who works with the Belrose community, Belrose Middle, Belrose Primary, is Kristen Falgu. And last but not least, Ms. Dina Rogers, who services Biological Primary School. My wife substitutes a lot, so she came home and they work hard. So, that's what I'm saying. So again, we want to take this opportunity to say thank you for what y'all do, keeping us healthy, keeping our kids healthy, and we appreciate you for everything you do.
Thank you.
God bless y'all.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Madam President, if I would have a word, please. 2 days ago, the first batch of coronavirus vaccine that went out by way of the Pfizer, the Pfizer pharma group there. And since that time, the inoculation process has begun. And in fact, the very first person, the frontline person who took the virus was a frontline person. Of course, it was a nurse, right? And same people who works in the same field, just like you all. So I truly think in the bottom of my heart, through the grace of God, we're gonna get through this crisis and we're gonna get through this pandemic. But we can't do it without your commitment. And judging for what I see here tonight and what I've seen across the state, across the country, I think you all are committed to being there. And I really, really do appreciate you putting yourselves as a shield, a barrier, a frontline person between that virus and the Assumption Parish school system to protect our students, to protect our teachers, and your coworkers. And when you do that, you can also protect Assumption Parish school system. So again, I would like to thank you all. And just to go back to what Mr. Buggett said, Mr. B, I would like to thank you too, because let me tell you, years past, we have recognized many groups here in front of this podium, in front of this board. Principal of the Year, Teacher of the Year, Student of the Month, we recognize our kids for the accomplishments on the football field, on the hard court, and even in the classroom. But never once we recognize this group of people right here. And you know, I be in and out of the schools a lot. I never see them, but I know they're there. And their work speaks for themselves, and I really, really appreciate it. So, Mr. B, thank you for your insight, bringing this before the board, because had it not been for you, again, we would have went through another year and one of the most troubling times in American history, this COVID virus, and we would overlook you. God bless you all. Thank you, Mr. B.
I'd like to thank these nurses personally. My grandchildren use them quite often, and they've always been so pleasant. And my grandkids just love our nurse. And you know, now I have one at the high school, and she's doing really well with seeing the nurse also. So thank you all.
God bless all of you. We're blessed to have people like you all to take care of our kids. And, you know, at this time, as Mr. Honorary said, you know, and all that's going on, I want you all to know that I keep you all in my prayer every night. And I think prayer works. I know it works. So prayer will get us to the other side of this, and we'll be rejoicing, and you all will be rejoicing also. But thank you all for what y'all do, and God bless all of you.
Thank y'all so much. Next on the agenda, receive information on student Christmas holiday meal boxes.
Thank you, Madam President. We have an opportunity to feed our students over Christmas break, and this is a great bridge into what we want to do moving forward for our virtual students and our students on hybrid. This particular program, I'm letting Ms. Misty speak to this, but I think it's a great opportunity for us to provide those meals for those students that are not on our campuses every day. So this time I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Misty to inform us as it relates to the Christmas holiday meal box program.
Good evening, everyone. This is the first for us. The reason why we're able to do it is because technically on paper, we're still participating in summer feeding. Normally we're breakfast and lunch. So because we're participating in summer feeding, we're able to offer these boxes of meals to these students while they're not on campus. So what we did was, we're gonna team up with a company that worked with 3 O'Clock Project. They were the actual company that provided the food to 3 O'Clock Project. The difference this time is that we remain the sponsor. So we're gonna get the reimbursement for those meals being served. They're just charging us for the boxes. So it was a quick turnaround. We found out from the State Department on Thursday. We were able to do this. I mailed this to me on Friday morning, and we got the ball rolling. So what's gonna happen is, and I'm sure some of you have also seen the email by now, they're gonna get 1 box on the 23rd and 1 box on the 29th. The parents have to register, and there's actually gonna be a list with the students' names, and they have to sign that they're picking up those boxes. It's 5 breakfasts and 5 lunches. It's a combination of some frozen meals as well as some shelf-stable items. So they'll get 10 total meals for the 10 days that they're not at school, and we'll get reimbursed for all those meals.
Cool.
As of this afternoon, and it's constantly changing, it's being updated constantly. When I checked before I left my office, we had 430 students already signed up. And I know some of the principals have already sent out another reminder since this afternoon. So we're hoping tomorrow morning we'll have more. I will be sending the vendors a list by Friday, probably mid-afternoon, so that they can have that list. But we don't want to forget about anybody. We want everybody to find out about it. We want as many people to sign up for it. So please, if y'all know anybody that's not aware, please take them away. And I'll give you a little bit of background as to how this came about. I was actually in contact with this company because we were planning to feed our virtual students at home with these meal boxes, actually being delivered to their home. So that's how this all started. And when the holiday meal came up, he was like, wait, we can do that too. So that is still in the works. because we have to get approved to do a supper and snack program in order to get those boxes delivered to the house. So that's forthcoming. I don't have an official start date on that, but that's in the works. And then a snack and supper program for our kids on campus is also in the works. As well as when the kids are on a hybrid schedule, we're finding meal kits that are shelf stable and milk that's shelf stable that we can actually hand out to those kids before they go home when they're on a hybrid schedule, so they don't have to worry about trying to come to school the next day on their off day to pick up a meal.
Okay.
So we have a lot going on. It's just the startup is just taking a little bit longer than we initially thought. Something by the time we come back in January, we'll be close to getting virtual taken care of, and then moving on to the hybrid. I'm thinking more of a, because it's special water food, so it takes about a month to come in. When for the holidays and State Department not working every day, just like us, it's gonna take us a little time to get that approved, but we're working on it.
Okay.
So we would like us to be, once we have to be creative.
Mhm.
We've never been in this situation before, so we have to be creative on how we get our funds. And many people can participate as possible, but that's all we need right now is that participation.
Okay.
Any questions about the holiday meals?
Misty, I have a question. Bylaws obviously does not have middle school, and the meals are being distributed from the middle school.
Yes.
That's kind of a hardship for our parents to get from Bylaws to Labrador to pick up meals. So those are the people that won't be signing up.
Well, let me tell you what happened with that. When we had that initial meeting, like I said, it's a quick turnaround. And our first vendor was like, okay, 3 to 4 max. So we had to choose 3 to 4, and we really right away just said, let's go where the students are. And that's, when me and Mr. B and Shannon met, we were just like, we have to get where the core students are just to get the most we could get out.
We wanted to have a distribution location at every site, but the vendor only gave us 4 opportunities to have those meals delivered at sites. So the decision was made to focus on the largest sites that we have. I understand totally, and I agree 100%. But we have some constraints with the vendor only offering us 4 sites to distribute the meals. And maybe that's something definitely for the meals moving forward.
Yeah.
We can definitely make sure, because if I'm not mistaken, the virtual program, once we get that started, those meals will be delivered to the home, to their doorstep. So we're trying to move forward. I know it doesn't really pertain to this item, but I want to let everyone know that moving forward, we're still looking at ways to try to make sure we get into the communities as much as we possibly can.
And I will say that if we are allowed to do this moving forward from other holidays, we will try to rotate amongst, different areas to get you. But let's say we can do it for Mardi Gras, let's say allow us to do it for Easter. We will make sure that we kind of hit every little spot so nobody's left out. We may not be able to do every site again, and we may have to pick 4 additional sites and say, okay, we'll do these 4 this time. So we can kind of work our way around the patch.
But at this point, we're still eliminated.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
See, I have a problem with that, because if it were Melrose or Care Park, you'd be hearing about it big time. So I don't see how you can just deny one of the communities out of the 5.
But
We're not
since
doing it, so-
it was brought up, I understand what Andrea's saying, and the means for a lot of the parents to, is there any way, since we know about it now, that we could use our transportation to bring it to the community?
That's with them, but the way they're doing it is they're actually distributing it for us, and they're not even charging us this time.
Yeah, I'm saying, but when you bring it to Labrador,
site and we get it.
could you get account for people, for that, by your house, and use our vehicle to
It's
take
kind of late
those?
in the game right now, because they're getting a list on Friday of what sites are getting picked up with the actual student names, and they have signatures, so if like they were trying to change sites, don't know if that would be possible.
I'm not saying change sites. Most of those kids,
Yeah, but when they signed up on the form, they signed up on a particular site to pick up, and to go to the site where they're all 430, which one would
Right.
switch to pick up and find was, can't guarantee that be done.
And no one signed up from Bylaws
because of that.
Yeah.
Because he had.
Did we have an extension with the parents? Did we have an extension?
Tuesday.
Back on the-
Right, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Should have been a discussion from the top.
Were they aware we had 5 spots?
Just 4.
No, we had 4, but were they aware we had 5?
Yes, ma'am.
They had gone for 3 o'clock project because they were the sponsor and they can do whatever they want. They're not the sponsor this time, we are. So they're pretty much almost doing us a favor by handing out the meals for us and not charging us to do it. That's the kind of difference. They're really just supposed to be charging us and here, drop it off.
And see, that's what I'm saying. If we would have known ahead of time, Bayou Lewis could have put their names for that spot, but we would know them from Bayou Lewis, and we would take the, get a
Yeah, and I
bus
understand what you're
or
saying.
whatever
I just think
and
right
bring it.
now,
Yes.
It was such a quick, like I said, we found out about it Thursday afternoon. We knew we couldn't do it because we didn't even have the food in our buildings to even attempt, and then I can't get my employees to come to work on a regular basis, much less on the holidays. So we knew we couldn't do it, and it
Right.
so happened I was already in contact with this vendor, and he's like, hey, we can do this too for you. So it kind of.
Well, I'm saying the next time we could
Oh, yeah,
be
the next time,
considering
my plan
where,
would be is
yeah, to bring it to their
reach
community.
the other, communities that didn't get it the first round, get the second round, so they can kind of rotate. And then by then, they said, hey, we can do more sites. So I think what's happening with this vendor right now, it's kind of like what happened with the 3 o'clock project. All of a sudden, everybody wants to use them. So they're trying to accommodate people, but kind of limit them at the same time.
I understand.
Okay,
Again,
well,
we
listen,
got to
but
be
the kids from
creative.
Bayou Lewis can sign up for it.
Yes,
But they'd have to pick it up in Libertyville?
They have to pick up either at the other 4 sites.
Well, if we already know how many kids from Bayou Lewis get it, why can't we have somebody to deliver from Libertyville to Bayou Lewis
She said
site?
they didn't sign up. A lot of them didn't sign up
It's
because
once a week? Are they gonna get the
Two
food?
pickups.
It's
One
2
on the
pickups.
23rd and one on the 29th.
Okay, so this is just the holidays.
Just
Yeah.
But the other part, when we start the new program, everybody's gonna be included?
for the virtual
Virtual,
students
yeah.
or for the suffering snack?
For everything?
For the virtual, it would go to their door. It would go to their home, be delivered to their home by this company.
So Bayou Lewis would be included in that.
Everybody would be
Yeah.
included in that.
Okay, so just for the holidays, that's it, they're left, okay.
That's really sick. Holiday.
Okay.
Mr. B, do you see a problem with that? If there's a lot of kids that signed up, that we've had somebody pick it up and bring it to the school site or bring it?
What I'll do is, I'll look into it, I definitely would look into see, but this is where we're gonna run into the situation that, the problem, we're gonna incur costs. Okay, so the ultimate goal is to try to save as much cost as possibly can, if we even get volunteers or someone is, or workers to even wanna do this. I'm gonna say that I'll definitely look into it, there's no guarantees because the current program that we have that is being offered to us, they only gave us 4 sites, so that means now we have to reconfigure how we can actually get that food to the different locations. If we're gonna add a site, because they're only gonna come to 4 sites and they're not coming to any other sites. So I do agree 100%. And if there's something that we can do on our end, we'll go back to the drawing boards and we'll try to figure something else out. But we can't guarantee because it's such a quick turnaround. When they gave us those 4 sites.
I
We
understand
actually
that.
asked for 4, they wanted to do 3.
They wanted to do 3 and we
And
had.
we're
Yeah,
like-
we understand all that, but what we're saying is, we would like, if anybody from the parish could take these lunches from Robinville and just deliver it to one location in Bayou Lewis, at least the parents would be able to pick up there and not have to try to find transportation
We'll look into it.
coming all the way to Robinville.
Right.
We'll look into it.
Does food services not have a van or?
See, I thought they did.
They have one van.
Yes.
And what is the last day, work day for administrators?
The 22nd. For the food service,
23rd.
22nd. Yeah, 23rd for us and 22nd for 12 for the
The 23rd for who?
the 12
The 27th. but-
So there will be people working on it
12.
that would be able to bring,
I can't guarantee that.
Well, like I said, I think it's, just,
Yeah,
come up with a plan and see what can
Yes,
be done.
yes, we'll look
Absolutely.
into it. We'll look into it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you, man, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, policy and procedure authorizes superintendent to cancel a board retreat scheduled for December 18th. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Dugas, second by Ms. Orso, all in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Next is, I'm drawing a blank, 5B.
Yeah.
5B,
Discuss the discipline, information on the discipline, the
report.
new discipline report,
Mr. Bucket.
plan.
So we had our committee meeting, Mr. Bucket met, and I also want to thank Mr. Meyer for a part of that, as well as all of our teachers and parents to be a part of this committee. So what you have in front of you right now is an informational item. We definitely want to review, and then we can actually add it to our policy at our next board meeting. But those are some of the items that were discussed and the committee would like to add. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Bucket to give us a report.
I would first like to thank, Mr. Meyer, and also Ms. Jessica, and also the committee, as well as, like Mr. B said, some parents, and teachers. So we had a really good group. We had 10 that was able to make the meeting. And it was such a large group of people that was for a lot of folks who were working, so we understand that. What the state is asking us to do, and I gave some information at our last meeting, is really to respond to our expanding classrooms. Now our classrooms are beyond the four walls. We have our virtual students and our virtual classrooms. So we are playing, again, catch up to get some discipline guidelines in place to respond accordingly. Like I said at the last meeting, we see in the news a lot of things going on, virtually some high profile cases. So the state asked us to kind of get a jump start on making sure we have some things in place. So we do have in CAPS already filed JD, which is our discipline plan as far as what the state is asking us to follow. The only changes we made are submitting, I guess, as an addendum. If you flip to the back of the first page, is a section of the virtual instruction. A lot of the bulk of what we did as a group the other day was to identify some behaviors that we may and hopefully might not see that may occur through virtual instruction. But in case we do see those behaviors, we have to have some things in place. So we pretty much went through a policy that we modeled after the one that our legal team had passed on for us to look at. So the wording, we know is aligned to what they would have us do. And so we've identified a list of behaviors, and it's a long list. If you look beginning on page, third page, back of the second page, you'll see some bullets. And for example, bullying, the use of harassing, threatening, discriminatory language, obscene language, all behaviors that some of which are already identified in our code of conduct. We have consequences for. And what the next step that the team will have to take is kind of align these possible virtual behaviors to the consequences that are already in place in the code of conduct. Now, some behaviors are brand new, and as I read through the list and as we went through as a team, it's like some things that it's new. And again, it's a sign of the time. So we'll have to look further at some consequences, because we can't necessarily do detention if you're at home. We can't necessarily, certain things you can do in a classroom when we have kids on site. We can't necessarily do virtually. So that's the next steps that the team will have to take, making sure all these things are in place. So we will be meeting again and coming back to you as anything is added. So I'm available once you go through that information to call or email, and I can give you some more information. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Judge. Thank you for your work on this.
Mr. Bud, thank you, Mr. Meyer.
Next. Under budget, approve First Amendment to contract with Board of Supervisors of Louisiana State University and Agricultural and Mechanical College on behalf of its Louisiana State University Health Science Center.
So what we're doing is amending this contract, and we're asking for $2,000 more to a original budget, so we can increase the participation as it relates to providing professional development to our teachers. So at this time, I'm gonna let Ms. Rachel Dugas speak to that.
So we're adding $2,000 to the contract, so the budget of $27,000 remains the same that the state gave us. So way back when we came to you the first time, we were gonna use $25,000 for the contracted services through LaSard, and we were gonna use $2,000 for stipends for teachers over the summer. Well, obviously with COVID, the over the summer PD was not able to take place. So what we would like to do is to move that money that was budgeted for the stipends into more contracted days with LaSard. So the amendment is on page 3. And it's in bold, where it says 2 coaching sessions up to 4 hours each consist of pre-observation meeting, classroom observation, post-observation feedback, and their on-site coaching meetings. So that's the adjustment to the original contract with LaSard. Do you have any questions for me? And just for your information, LaSard comes in every Tuesday and works in classrooms. She has a pre-meeting with the teachers. She does an observation. She prepares any resources that the teacher needs. She actually makes the resources. And when she comes to the follow-up visit the next week, she puts all the resources up, models for the teacher what to do with them, and then she moves on to the next classroom. And we have our mental health specialist shadowing her so that when the contract runs out, we have all the resources and we can duplicate it ourselves.
Okay.
Any questions? All right, thank you very much.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Urso, second by Mr. Washington, all in favor? Any opposed? Next, receive November 2020 sales and use tax report.
Ms. Randall?
Good evening. The sales and use tax report for the month of November is as follows. We processed a total of 1,811 returns. We received $966,575.04. That was a 1% decrease. The school board received $480,703.25. And a 92 bond fund received $96,141.55. The delinquent rate for the month was 8%. We did not have audit revenues for this month, but auto sales was $224,816.18. It for that.
Thank you. Next, receive financial update for the 2016 bill bonds.
All right, yes, I'm here to present this financial update on our bond projects and amount of funding that you all have available for the bonds. We've been having these gold bonds fund since 2016. The last update that you received was as of June 30th, 2020. We have paid, of course, off the settlement amount for the fully billed primary school multi-purpose building. So I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware of the available balance in the bond fund. You'll see on the spreadsheet, it did not change. We have a total amount of expenditures that we expended for each fiscal year. Our current bank balance is $572,253. We do have outstanding checks that have not cleared the bank of $10,434, which gives us an available bank balance of $561,819. We do have outstanding encumbrances, which are purchase orders that have been encumbered, but we have not paid those bills yet. That totals $74,349. So the available balance that is not expended at this time is $487,469. Thank you.
Do we have anything on the books as of now to spend this money on any project?
Your maintenance supervisor or engineer will have to give you that information.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Either I know there's a sewer treatment project, but as far as the projects, the maintenance supervisor or the engineer would have to provide you that.
The only project we had is waiting on, Mr. Fowler to get the information on the wall, that Mr. Beck spoke about last time we was in the meeting at the high school. So after we do the wall renovation at the high school, then we can move on to the next project, to see where we at.
Does this money have to be spent in so many years or
No,
no?
it's not like the three-stab bonds, these are, these do not expire.
Good, okay.
Next, authorize the superintendent to announce the results of custodial supplies bids for 2021. I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Washington, second by Mr. Robertson, all in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
So that's Mr. Janitorial.
On a custodial bid, we had only one contracted bid on that particular item that's in your packet.
Yeah, the only person that bid on the custodial supplies was economical, janitorial supplies, and, we've been using them for several years. We had another bid, but it wasn't a complete bid, so we took a step. So they bid on all supplies. So we just need approval.
Yeah, this time I have a motion to approve the bid, accept the bid.
We did.
Yeah, already did.
That would have been before we did, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we did.
Yeah, so it's good.
Let's-
Yeah. All right. All right. Next, authorize the superintendent to announce the results of the lawn service bids. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Meyer. Discussion.
So in your packet, you can see all of the bids that we had for the lawn service. Just a point of reference, the lowest bidder sent us an email requesting that we remove their bid. So what you see as far as AMR Lawn and Landscape Services, that bid is actually removed. They requested for us to remove that particular bid. So the lowest bidder at this time is PM Lawn Care.
Okay.
And then you can see those rest of, I need to,
PM Lord.
Mr. D,
I can go over all of them.
no, I understand. The lowest bidder that asked to remove his bid from the, even though he was the lowest bidder, did he give a specific reason as to why he wanted to retract his bid?
So once I received the email, I called the contractor, and what he did was, from speaking to him, he actually bid on two jobs at the same time. So a job for Assumption Parish and then a job for another company. So during the period of we are actually combining all the bids and bringing all the bids in and organizing everything, he accepted the other contract. So he's very forthcoming with information. And see, Mr. Vadam, I would love the business, but at this time, I don't want to spread myself too thin, and I want to do a good job for you all. So at this time, I'm not willing to expand, so I would like to remove my bid.
I think there's such a difference in the bids.
Yeah.
Have we
Yeah,
used this
totally.
company before?
What's that?
Have we used this company before?
PM, yes, we have.
Yes.
Because I mean, you're looking at $150,000 difference in the bids.
No,
Yes.
Yeah, you have one of 248,000, one of 210, 145, 127, and then 90,000. That's over $110,000, $20,000 difference.
oh, between contractors, yeah, the first one was 74,000, but the
Yeah.
way going with it is gonna be 90. But I mean, it just depends on how big of a company it is and how much they cut and how many people they have. You know, so a smaller company, they don't have that many people, they cut a smaller group, like the first guy, he's only himself and a few other men, and that's why he didn't want to take the contract, because he couldn't handle it. You know, some of these bigger companies, I mean.
So you said we have used this company before?
Yes, ma'am, we have used, Mr. Perry.
Yeah, we've used Perry before, but if you look, Ms. Don, you look at the midway down the bottom, Joey Thibodeau, last year, I think Joey bid was right at about what, 78?
$78,000.
$78,000. So.
I just,
Yeah,
I see
understand.
concern there,
Right.
you know.
And
I
that's
mean,
what the
it's-
contract comes in.
I don't want
Well,
to
I mean,
confuse that $245,000 bid and another one, the
The
$90,000.
$90,000 bid is not
You
that
know.
far off because of the simple reason we added
Right.
5 more cuts to the contract.
Yeah, and,
We knew it was gonna be a little
again,
more, so I mean,
yeah.
it's pretty fair price.
and Morton, he's done a lot of work for Assumption before, and he's responsible and he's reputable.
Yeah, you get a
But
good
again,
job.
you look at, go back to, Joey Thibodeau, like I said, last 2 years ago when he bid was right at $78,000. Look at what he's submitting this year, 145,000, 125. I guess he realized that he couldn't do that job, but what he bid for 2 years ago.
Well,
So
you
that,
get more manpower because we had issues.
Exactly, yes,
So
yes.
I mean, it gets on the yard, so you can increase the manpower to be able to do it, but when you increase that, you increase costs.
All I want is a good job, that's it.
yeah, and for lawn services, listen, if he would have took on both these jobs and realized he couldn't have fulfilled both their obligations, then that would have been problematic.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, again, I was just, Mr. B gave a good explanation, long as he opt out the contract based on his own volition and not nothing that we've done.
No.
Okay, that's, good.
And I want to say this, we are now in a position where we have a very detailed contract. So we outline, and also we're receiving feedback from the principals of as far as the quality of the cuts and things of that nature. So at any point, if we feel as though this contract is not upholding therein as it relates to the contractual agreement, and the evaluation shows that, we'll make a decision, determination at that time. So, Dwayne, we have a real good, I think, process in place to really make sure that our contract is providing service in which we're paying.
Now, this contract, last time we did Joey's, we did a 2-year.
Right.
This time, we're not doing a 2, we're gonna do a 1 with the option to renew
That's
at
the
the
best
end of the
way.
first year if they do a quality job.
Yeah,
Then if they don't, we'll rebid and
Yeah.
move on.
Okay.
So instead of giving them 2 initially, and they locked in,
yeah, you don't want to get locked in.
they're not locking them in for 2, we're gonna give them 1, we'll evaluate them and see if we're gonna give them the second year.
Okay.
At the same cost, the cost ain't changed.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Questions? All in favor?
All right.
All right.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Dwayne.
All right, if there's no further business, I need a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, before we adjourn, let me ask you something. Mr. B, I know the vaccine have arrived in Louisiana as all other states in the state and the country here. Where do the schools, where do we cop out as far as getting the vaccine? Where we are at as far as getting it distributed down to our teachers and stuff like that? And when it get here, will our staff be mandated to take it, or it's on a voluntary basis? Do you know, or do the nurses know?
We can't mandate anyone to take the vaccine. We have been in conversations with the medical experts as well as other superintendents across the state.
Mhm.
And we're trying our best to make sure that the teachers are not the first line, but the second tier of employees that will receive the vaccine. Right now, obviously, it's going to our first responders, our frontline workers, like our nurses, our doctors, and we're trying to push to get our teachers right under them to make sure that we receive the vaccine. But to answer your question, as far as mandate, we cannot.
No.
Madam President, I also would like an update, Mr. Buggins, if you don't mind, provide us an update on the number of COVID cases and the number of people we have quarantined as of today.
Just to give you a perspective on our last meeting, I reported we had total of 5 positive cases and we had 64 in quarantine. As compared to today, we have 16 positive cases and 17 in quarantine. So the quarantine numbers are pretty much stable, and I would attribute that to the larger schools where we are currently hybrid. So we don't see those, that a large number of kids are being quarantined, so that's a good thing. And again, with Thanksgiving, we were expecting a spike.
little
Hopefully
increase, yeah.
we're seeing the end of the spike. Good thing is with the break coming, you know, we could expect things to fall a little bit, but again, people are gonna be more social and I'm sure the CDC will prepare us for an after Christmas spike. So, you know, we still not seeing, cases, a lot of school to school cases where, you know, in the same classroom or, you know, that sort of thing. So it says that, you know, what we have in place is working. We are seeing a lot of community, spread in communities, kids that are being maybe quarantined because the parents are positive, that sort of thing. So that's kind of where we go.
And I just want to say this, as far as the measures that we have in place is working, you know, we have to stay the course. And at least until we get to a place where our numbers are actually plateauing and it's kind of leveling off a bit. Because of the measures we have in place, we were able to kind of sustain where we are right now. We did not have to, because of the measures that we have in place. And I commend the principals, the teachers, and our staff members for following the guidelines and making sure that we're practicing those to the best extent possible.
So we're at 16, you said?
Right, we
Positive,
have, again, 16 cases as of today
and 7
and 17 quarantined today. These are nice.
That's still good.
And be mindful, around 3,400 individuals.
Oh,
Yeah.
So between employees and students, that's around 3,400 people we have in addition.
Right, and from that quarantine number, the 70, I know we have, I think it's 8 returning tomorrow, and it may be more, but I know 8 that stands out in my head that I know we'll be back tomorrow, so that number will drop.
Okay.
So the days in quarantine went down, right? As far as it used to be, what, 14 days, 9?
10 days.
It's 10.
Right,
It's
right,
dropped.
we currently have, we can do 10-day quarantine without symptoms that, they
Yeah.
can be, can't come back to school. I don't think kids. So,
Okay.
so we hold it steady, I think we, you know, we continue to hold fast and do what we need to do as a group. All of us, I think we'll make it through this and end on a positive.
Yeah, yeah. Those bus drivers, I'm always worried about those bus drivers. And I mean, you got to commend them. They're doing a good job also. Because I mean, you know, they did the first kids, the first ones is the bus driver, is the first one to see them. After the parents let them go, you know. So make sure we tell them that they're doing a good job also.
Definitely will pass that on. We'll do this, Jack.
Okay.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
Before we adjourn, I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, since this is our last meeting for the year.
Yes.
Yes.
Sheila Scott.
And happy New Year, huh?
Totally forgot.
Yeah, thank you all.
Okay.
Motion by
Me.